Hello, everybody. Joe Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. It is Friday. Finally, we're at the end of the week, August 6th. And so hopefully everyone had a good week today. The market is kind of getting squirrely a little bit. I think we're going to pull back a little bit. The NASDAQ is up slightly, but kind of getting the vibes that some of the techs, we may be rotating out of some of the techs. And I think where the money is going, I think it is in some of the financials that have done pretty well. Matter of fact, I just opened bought two positions in Goldman Sachs. It's right in the buy zone right now. And I also did buy a position in Trex, which is kind of an interesting company. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I sold off some stuff as well. I decided that I would get rid of what was left of L Brands. Of course, L Brands, it kind of didn't split, but there was a spin-off of Victoria's Secret. I kept Victoria's Secret, but I sold Bed Bath, and I think it's Bed Bath and Beyond. Is that right? No, it's BBWI. That's what it happened. What happened was L Brands became BBWI and VSCO, which is Victoria's Secret. So I sold the bath and I kept the secret. So that's kind of what I did. So without further ado, let's get into some of the slides. Okay, well, the market is still in a confirmed uptrend, which is a good thing, but we've pulled back a little bit today, as you can see on the NASDAQ. NASDAQ is still above 14,500, which is amazing. It's near its all-time highs. So it's a little bit, we're starting to see a little bit of weakness. I think the plane may be stalling out as it's in that, and trying to do the loop-de-loop, and how that goes up and stalls and pulls back a little bit. And I think we're not there yet, but come Monday, I think we might have some downward pressure. I did sell Tesla today. I had two positions in the small portfolio, and I sold it right at 600, right at 699.99. That's where I ended up selling it. So I'm out of Tesla as well. So just kind of wanted to tell you that before we get into everything else. The S&P is up a little bit. Dow Jones is up. And oh, wait a minute! I need to do something very quickly here for all my friends over in the Discord room. And let's see. I forgot to I forgot to put them on to send over the link. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I forgot to put them on to send over. So I'm going to send it over to them right now. And just there we go. There. Okay. So I'm on. I think I'm back on the air as well. I was putting that link over to the Discord room. By the way, if you're interested in the Discord room, it's a great it's a great thing, and easy to get involved with that. All you have to do is go over to if you're on TikTok, just go to my profile and click the link, and you'll see where where for the special Discord room. And then if you're on just anything else, just go to www.dallastradingfloor.com, and then you can just see where it says special Discord room. Just click on that link, and it'll be good to go. So let's take a look at the optimism, the economic optimism, and I think this might be having something to do with it. I don't know. You never know what's gonna happen, but the economic optimism since the beginning of June has kind of come down a little bit. So we are down about 1.3%. We kind of peaked in March, and then we have been slowly going down. I think this might have to do with the inflation numbers that have started to come out. We're starting to see inflation, of course, in all kinds of things like like food and and gasoline and rent and all these other things that we all have to pay. So the economic is moving a little bit down, and the optimism is moving a little bit down. So that probably is going to mean that we're going to see a little bit of sell-off in the tech, because tech is kind of based in optimism. And when we have inflation, tech doesn't do as well. Typically, the things that will do well in that environment typically are like the financials, and that's why we get to the next slide, and that basically is the stock of the day today is Wells Fargo, and Wells Fargo had good earnings, and it's just cleared this very critical 48.23 buy point. So Wells Fargo is actually a buy right now, and the relative strength is moving much better. The industry group is better. It's off of what they call a flat base, and it looks like they're going to move above that 50-day average. That's this red line here that you can see. That's the 50-day average. Very important. So we're starting to see some strength in the financials. I bought Goldman Sachs today, but Wells Fargo is also very good. These are the two stocks that I purchased today, and they're Goldman Sachs, of course, and that is up about $13 today, about 3.62%. It's a relatively expensive stock. It's got a very nice composite rating. It's pretty much one of the strongest financials. It's really not a bank. It's really more of a investment management company. I mean, it's really like that. So, but they're good. They had some very good earnings. They're kind of dialed into a lot of things, so they typically do well. And then this company called Trex, which moved above a buy point, and it's at 105.15 when I took this slide. So it's looking pretty strong too. A little bit less volume on this one. The thing about the Goldman that is very interesting, it's up very strongly, but there's a lot of volume. So that's something that you always want to kind of look at there. All right, this is kind of what I have in store. This is all the stocks that I'm holding. Doesn't include some of the spreads that I have. I'm working on a spread for Generac. I don't have that ready to go yet, but hopefully I will. It's a bull put spread. Generac had some is pulling up, and so maybe that will work. We'll see, but that's I'm going to have that out hopefully tonight if it goes through on the action trade alert. So if you're interested, make sure that you're signed up for the action trade alert. It's super easy to do, of course. Go to www.Dow's Trading Floor. So I'm in NVIDIA. I've stayed in NVIDIA. It's pulled back a little bit. It's 203, but anything over 200, I'm pretty excited. Coming up on earnings in about 2 weeks, I do expect very good earnings from NVIDIA. DocuSign, it's off a little bit today. It was up yesterday. It's down today. Kind of. It's still pretty good. I really like it. Nike, this has been my star performer, and I wouldn't have thought it, but Nike doing very well as well. Of course, I'm in Robert Half. That's up today. Not a lot, but a little bit of volume up. This is the temporary staffing firm, of course. PerkinElmer, it pulled back a little bit today, a little less than 1%. Still really like PerkinElmer. Part of the reason I like PerkinElmer so much is because they are in the business of making gene sequencing equipment, and just about everybody that's involved in the life sciences is a customer. So that's a good thing. ST Micro, this one has been doing quite well. This is an interesting company. It's a Swiss-Italian company. And what they do is they make chips for the automotive sector, and they've been short as of late. So that one's pretty good. Now, we all probably heard about Square. Square's off a lot, $5, almost 2% down. I'm still holding it. I had my stop loss at 273. It's at 276. So I might be out of Square pretty quick. Also, I have Snap. This is doing a little bit better. It ran way up, and I bought it. So we'll see how that comes out. Victoria's Secret's down a little bit. I only have 8 shares of this. This was a dividend, the stock dividend that I got from holding L Brands. Sold off the parent company, of course, and that's Bath and Body Works, BBWI. So I sold off that, but I kept the Victoria's Secret. CrowdStrike, it's down too. This one, we'll see. We'll see. A lot of these, I've just rotated them, so we'll see if they work. Viva Systems down a little bit today. The big gainer that I had today, Goldman Sachs, is up about $13 a share, or about 2.5%. So that's pretty good. And also Trex, it's also up, not as much, just 95 cents, or a little bit, almost 1%. So that's kind of the the long and the short of it there in what I'm holding. All right, so let's get to some of those questions. Always excited to see. What is the stop loss on Vive? Good question. And let's go to Vive. Let's see if I can get that in there. Well, maybe not. My charts are not. There we go. Uh-oh. Got Siri in there, and I don't want Siri. I want to turn this darn. Please turn off. There we go. All right. For some reason, I get Siri comes on, and I can't. It's a weird thing. So let's bypass Siri here for the stop loss on Viva Systems, and I keep a spreadsheet with all my stop losses on it, just because that way I can remember what I've got and where I have it. So I'm going to move over to that. There we go, and let's look over here at Viva Systems is in. I'm trying to figure which portfolio that's in. Here it is. Okay. Just flip over to that. Okay, yeah, my stop loss for Viva Systems is 324. So I'll show you that in a second. Here we go. And it's right here. 324 is the stop loss that I have it on Viva Systems. I am currently on Viva. I am basically dead even. I'm down $3.54 on Viva. I don't have a lot of it, but that's this position right here, and this is in one of my portfolios. So Viva Systems, I have a stop loss set on it. 324 is the stop loss for Viva. So thank you for that question. I appreciate it. All right, let's look at space. This is the final frontier, I guess, right? Just being corny. So let's look at the chart for space. And they I think they're coming up on earnings, so we might get, it might work this time. I've done well in space. I've basically been in and out. I mean, I haven't really, I haven't really done a whole lot on it, but this. Let's see. Yeah, here's the chart of space. We're still trading below the 20. We're still trading below the 50-day line, but it looks as if we are in a uptrend, which is a nice thing. So I'm going to just draw the line here. This is the trend line, and this is the trend line. So we're definitely above the trend line, which is a good thing. We have we had some earnings actually come in here. Let's take a look, and really with Virgin. Oh, that's Velco. Sorry, SPCE. Wrong chart there. There we go. All right. So earnings. Well, we don't really have any earnings, I guess. Obviously, with Virgin Galactic. There we go. Okay. Yeah. This is a really tough one, and basically, we've moved up above that 21-day line. I haven't been in it really since it made this run. I'm looking to possibly, get a position right here at the 50-day line. That would be where I would buy it. Currently I'm not in it, of course. And if it was at the 50-day line, that would be about 38.35 would be approximately where you would buy it. Now currently it's 33, so we've got about 5 to go. I wouldn't necessarily buy it here, even though it has moved up very, very nicely. I still think I want to see a follow through. So even though we had some nice volume here, that is coming on the chart. Let's look at the 60-minute chart, 10-minute chart to see kind of what's going on. Yeah, beginning of yesterday, we had this spike up, and then it basically pooped out here at about 35. That's really, we want to see it move above 35 before we're really interested in buying it. We did have a lot of selling at the end of the day, as you can see, big sell bar. So the question is, what is it doing today? Well, it's a little bit of a downward trend. So at least from today, we had this tremendous pull up here, but it seems as if there's some resistance right about 35. So here's what I would say on Virgin Galactic. I wouldn't be in this until we were above 35. I just really wouldn't, because I think that we've got to we've got to get past that resistance. So buying it below that, it's probably not what I would do. So my advice on space or Virgin Galactic SPCE would be to probably wait until it moves past about 35. So just take the weekend off and relax, and maybe it'll be viable on Monday. So let's look at SCR for Matt. Thank you. Social media gaming. Wow, I've never heard of this company. Just shows you, this is an IPO, and it has this IPO base. So this is good, actually. By the way, this is very instructive of an IPO base. When it comes out, you see it'll come out and then it'll go up, and then it's resistance, and then there's the sell-off, and then it bounces, and then it's come back way up again. So actually, if I were to buy this would be kind of a place I'd be possibly looking at about, at about 34. So, I mean, I think you could probably buy this. I don't think I would, but I definitely think that it's not bad. It's got a good checklist, 78%. The industry is good. Internet content is very, very good right now. So, as far as things go, this isn't all bad. I mean, this isn't all bad. I kind of want to check out the internet content area. Well, definitely look at that. C Limited and SE and SCR. I'm more familiar with C Limited than I am with that. But yeah, this is okay. So basically, it's got the huge companies: Google, of course, Facebook, Weibo, all those. And then this is one of the ones that's done the best. I don't know. I'd be a little bit concerned about this. I'd be more inclined to buy, and of course these are sky high expensive shares, but I would be more inclined to buy 1 or 2 shares of Alphabet. Really, that's what I would do there, Matt. So I don't know about SCR. I really don't. It seems like it might be good, but I don't know. Let's look at this one. This is an interesting. This was a ONTO. Oops, is that right? Did I get that right? No. Get in there. ONTO. All right. Okay. This is semiconductor. Interesting. Okay. I'm not familiar with this. This is right in the buy zone, Matt. Hey, I'm liking this. I'm really liking this. The buy point on this one was 75.61, and this is right in the buy zone. And this is kind of the area that you ought to be looking at. 41 out of 197. So that's looking very, very good. And look at this relative strength line. It's moving up nicely. Let's just kind of do a little bit of just putting a line there. And the reason I'm doing it is to see kind of, it looks like it's near its all-time high in relative strength. That's good too. They had terrific earnings. Wow, this is a real find here, Matt. This was not on my radar, but it's got 100% checklist. Wow, that's a buy. That is definitely a buy. That's a buyable right now. Absolutely buyable right now. That one wasn't on my radar, but this is buyable right now. So that one is looking very, very good. Very good. So that's, yeah, I mean, ONT. Oh, I know who these guys are. I'm really near Richardson here in Texas, and there's actually one of their offices right down the street. Now I know what they are. Okay, they're right next to UTD. Okay. Good. Yeah, this is a strong stock. This is a strong stock. It's a nice buy point. It's got a base on base formation. This is the first consolidation. This is the second. So that's very strong. That's very, very strong. What I'm going to do is I am going to put that down on the list, ONTO, and that's going to be the Bible list. And that's on ONTO. So that's definitely a good stock. Thanks, Matt. I really appreciate that. That one wasn't on my radar, but it has a very, very nice pattern right now. All right, let's look. Hans, thanks. And my old favorite NVIDIA, it's down a little bit today, but I have faith because I think that their AI chips are pretty innovative, and I think a lot of other people do too. I'm not the only one that thinks that. And we've pulled back a little bit. We're still right below that critical 208.75. That's the highest high. We're $5 away from that. We're getting very close. So I think if you're in it, I think you definitely should hang on to it because it's got a 100% checklist, kind of like this onto. So I do like this sector. I do like the area. I do like the company. I believe this is the number one in the chip sector, but let me just check here real quick. This is the fabless. This is different than Intel or TI because they both run fabs, but this is sort of the. So let's kind of look. Yeah, NVIDIA is the top one. Of course, we were in AMD, and of course, I did sell at 116. I had a tight stop loss out there. That's one thing about AMD that I've learned over the years that I've traded it. When you get in, when it runs up and then it pulls back hard, so you got to push your stop loss up quickly. But I'll probably try to get back into that one. So basically, these are the top monolithic power AMD and NVIDIA. This is the best in the chips right now. And Lattice Semiconductor, Rambus. There's a lot of companies that are very, very good. I just for fun, I want to look in on AMD and see kind of how it's doing. See if there's another entry point. Yeah, well, we're down a little bit today. Not too bad. Here's what I think is going to happen with AMD. I think we're going to pull down basically to the 10-day line, and then I think we're probably going to bounce higher. AMD is very, very spiky. The buy point is really 95.44 right here on up about $5 up to about 100. So I think it could possibly pull as low as the top of the buy range, but I do think that it's still a great company. It's just that you got to know how to trade it. It's a tough one to trade. I mean, I've been burned many times on it, so I kind of have it down. When you buy it, you push that stop loss up really quick because it'll pull back on you. Let's look at CrowdStrike. Thank you, Hans. CRWD. That's the symbol for CrowdStrike. And I have CrowdStrike. It's off a little bit today, but it's still in the buy zone. So I'm still pretty confident. It looks like it's going to bounce off of that 21-day line. That's this green line here. If you can see it, I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit to see if you can see it just a little bit better. And I'm going to arrange so it's a little bit easier to see it. You could probably see this a little bit better. And that is, it's right in this buy range. Basically the buy point for CrowdStrike, 251.28 up about 5%. So it's solidly within that buy zone. Now you'll notice it kind of oscillates in here. It comes up and then down and then up and then down. It's in a downward motion. So I do kind of expect CrowdStrike to possibly come down, possibly or bounce at the 21-day. I have my stop loss set right here at basically 251.28. That's where my stop loss is on CrowdStrike. But I do think that it's behaving very in a healthy way because it needs to break through this 272, and then once it does, it'll go higher. But expect it to pull back a little bit on Monday. Expect it to pull back a little bit on Monday. Wait for the bounce. I think the bounce probably will come Monday or Tuesday, and I think it will oscillate back higher. But that's what it's kind of looking like to me. I just want to kind of look at the 30-minute chart on it to see. Let's see. There we go. Okay, yeah, we had some strong buying action. Okay, so that's good. This is where my stop loss is right here. So I showed you a different view. This is just actually a different view. You notice how it's coming up, bouncing, and then I think it will probably settle So I think it, I think it's still buyable at this point. It's right in the buy zone, so I wouldn't give up on it at all, even though it's down a little bit today. But it looks very, very good. I like both of these stocks, of course. CrowdStrike probably a little bit less than with, CrowdStrike probably a little bit less than um, with NVIDIA. As you know, I probably right now I'm kind of very bullish on NVIDIA, and they're going to come into earnings in about 2 weeks. So we will see. Thanks, Nico. IIPR. Let's take a look at IIPR. Let's see. Oh, innovative industrial properties. This is the way to play cannabis. I think, Nico, you're smart to bring this one up. The cannabis plays directly are very tough because it's like Tilray. They can sell in Canada, and there's a lot of restrictions. It's legal some places, it's not legal other places. But innovative industrial properties, they're not really in the cannabis business. What they do is they're sort of the grow station landlord. So anybody that wants to grow marijuana, they can rent from this company, and they're all set up to do it. It's right now, it's in a buy zone, and it just topped 222.08. Now in the specialty real estate space, this is one of the real standouts. What I've done is I've gone over here to the weekly view. We had a very nice uptick here in this week, so there's definitely some big money coming in to this REIT. It's interesting. I mean, we had some very good earnings. The the sales were up 101%, profits were up 36%, which for a property-based company is quite good. Also, we're in this REIT area. It's 16 out of 197. So this group in general is faring very well. I just kind of want to take a look to see which ones are the ones. Well, number one is IIP, so that's good, and then Broadstone, and then Essential Properties. So, this is looking very, very, very strong. I definitely think this is a good one. It's definitely in a buy zone, so you could definitely. You could definitely buy this one. II. Oops. There he is. Ooh, I almost got it right. IIPR is the symbol, and I definitely think that this is actionable at this level. And I just want to check the checklist here, just real quick. It's 100%. So, wow. That's a good checklist. Just going to show you that checklist right now. 100% passes on every category, so that's very, very good. And it's financial, which right now is seeing a lot of love. Some of the growth stocks are pulling back a little bit, and some of these plays are looking very, very good right now. And this is IIPR. So, yeah, thank you for bringing this one up. It's looking very, very good, and the sector is looking good. We have nice fund ownership. 505 funds are in it, so it's looking pretty good. So I would say that that's a definite. It's right in the buy zone right now, and it's definitely buyable right now. So you could definitely buy IIPR absolutely right now. Can you please go over Overstock? Overstock. I've never used Overstock, but I hear people really like it. Never used it, but unfortunately, I wish that chart was better. I'm looking at the weekly chart here. We kind of have, the trend on this overall is not kind of what we want to see. Unfortunately, yeah. Oh, geez. Yeah. See, okay, not what we want to see. This is in a downward trend currently, as you can see. It's below that 200-day line, so I really can't buy it. It's got a relative strength of 11, and unfortunately, this retail internet sector is just not doing as well as it has been. Had some great earnings though, but it's just not enough. There's sort of disinvestment, a little bit of disinvestment going on in the sector. We'll see how long that lasts, but it's got a 44 checklist, so I think you just got to say no moss on that one. I don't think you can buy it right now. The chart just doesn't look right to me. What about Bank of America? This is a question from TikTok. So let's look at BAC. Now we're starting to see some interest in the financials, and I don't really like the financials. I'll be honest with you. I am not a huge fan of the financials, but being that they're sort of getting the love from Wall Street right now, I think that things are looking good. We definitely had this nice spike up today. All the financials are doing well today. And as you can see, it's right up to that 50-day line. So that's looking pretty good. Now, can you buy this thing? Well, I think that there probably are better merchandise. It's a 67 checklist, which is okay, but I think that there's just better merchandise out there. Always want to be in the better stuff if you can. And right now, interestingly enough, and this is one that, by the way, I saw this on the screen. This is a fascinating stock. This is an English stock. I was looking at this just before the show. It's called Lloyd's Bank, but Goldman Sachs is basically, basically up there. But I want to show you the one that has the best earnings per share, and it's actually a foreign bank, and it's a very inexpensive stock. It's called Lloyd's Bank Group, LYG. In fact, I can put it on my little bit on a list here. LYG. And Lloyd's it's starting to make this turn, and it's a very cheap stock. It's a $2 stock. Now, I normally don't recommend $2 stocks. This is usually just way too cheap for me. But this one looks fairly decent. Now, I'm not saying buy it, but I think it's very interesting. That's the reversal line, as you can see. So it's moving above that reversal line. The question is, how does it even look? It's got a checklist. It basically fails on the current price. It's below $10, but basically everything else, it seems to succeed here. I'm going to watch list this one. I just don't know much about it, but it's called Lloyd's Bank. It's based in London, I believe, and it's doing very, very well. It's a money center bank, and right now the money center banks are doing really well. I only have one money center bank right now in my own portfolios, and that is Goldman Sachs. That's sort of one of the better ones. I also think that Morgan Stanley is good as well, but and maybe and Wells Fargo. Let's look at WFC. Yeah, I think instead of Bank of America, I think if you're going to look for a bank stock and it isn't Goldman Sachs, I think this one is not bad. It's Wells Fargo and Company is right in the buy zone. So if you're looking at a stock that you can buy right now that's in the financial area, and I normally don't recommend financials, I'll be honest with you, I don't. But this one, Wells Fargo is looking pretty good. It has a decent checklist, 78%, and nice ownership. Now I want to compare this against Goldman, just to kind of see. And let's pull that one up. Yes, this is Goldman. Yeah. Goldman, I think, is just a little better in terms of everything. A little bit better checklist, and I think so. But if you're looking for a bank stock right now, because that is definitely an area that is starting to get some love as people are selling out of some of the growth stocks. Take a look at Goldman Sachs and also at Wells Fargo WFC. So those are the two I think that really are the ones. All right, we went over Overstock. Jim, help! Gold crash today. What do you think about gold next week? Thanks, Mohammed. The problem. Gold's tough to trade. I'll be honest with you. Now here's the odd thing about gold. You would think that with all this inflation going on, that gold would be doing better than it is, but for some reason it's not, and I don't know why that is. But I do look at this thing called GLD, which is the ETF that tracks the price of gold bullion, and it just fell off the cliff today. I mean, boom! It just went way down. The question is, why is that happening? Well, it's a 33 checklist. I believe is because even though we have all this inflation coming due, there is a tremendous shortage because of high interest payments of cash to pay those interests. So I'm not so sure that gold is the best hedge right now against inflation. And it's strange that I would actually say that. I think the best inflation hedge right now is royalties from oil, because I think that those are probably going to do the best. Let's just kind of take a look to see. I want to take a look at the groups to see what's doing the best. What group of the economy where we're seeing the best results. And so I'm going to go to the industry groups here, and we're going to just rank them top to bottom. There we go. So the current number one group right now is department stores. Can you believe that? Department stores. I got to see that because man, maybe I should be buying Dillard's. I don't know. Maybe I should be buying Dillard's. This is the number one group in this. This is the number one group. Kohl's and Macy's, Nordstrom's. This is really interesting. Dillard's. Let's look at Kohl's. I want to see if there's any. Yeah. Okay. Well, isn't that interesting? Retail department stores. Let's go back and. So this is the number one sector right now. Macy's. Man, I can't believe this. I tell you, when you look at this chart, you're always amazed at what's going on. Well, it looks as if Macy's may be turning higher. Well, it's earnings in 13 days. I have to take a look at this sector. But anyways, why is gold doing poorly? I don't know why gold is doing poorly. That's a good question, and I don't have a good answer for you, so I won't answer. I won't answer you on that. I don't know. I do not want. Oh yes, gold crash below due to NFE. Oh, okay. What do you think about gold next week? I don't know. It sounds like gold's under attack. I don't know, Mohammed. It's a very good question. I don't have a good answer for you. So I'm not in gold right now, and I just don't know how it's stacking up. Let's look at CFLT for G. Let's do that right now. CFLT. Unfluid Class A, Office of Cloud-Based Practice for Infrastructure. Okay, so it's an IPO. All right, and it's in the computer software database space, which unfortunately is an underperforming space. You know what? It doesn't look like a good chart. I probably would not be buying this one. The buy point, there is a buy point on it on an IPO base at $57.99. We're pretty far away from that, so I just don't think I'd pass. Yeah, I would pass on this one definitely. I just don't think that one is gonna work. I just don't think that one's gonna work, unfortunately. Somebody is asking about Under Armour. So I have Nike, but let's look at Under Armour. I think that's UA. Yeah, Under Armour. What do you know? All right, let's look at Under Armour. We're right below that buy point, 21.82. You know what? This one might be really good. I've done very well in I've done very well in Nike in the last month or so, and this one seems to be kind of have some Nike-like characteristics. It's an 89 checklist. That's very good. The sector is apparel clothing manufacturers, which I wouldn't think would be a good sector, but Under Armour seems to be doing well. I just kind of want to see how it stacks up here. Delta Apparel, Capri Holdings. This is an English company. And Figs. Yeah. Everyone really likes Figs. This is the company that's based in Los Angeles, is an IPO that makes designer scrubs. I probably wouldn't be a buyer of it looking at this. I mean, it did have a nice IPO. It ran up and then it sort of bounced at where the IPO was 22, and then it's sort of bouncing up again. So it might go higher. I don't know. This is a tough sector. So Under Armour, it looks pretty good. I don't think I would have a full position in it though. I really don't. I just don't think I would. Thoughts on SSYS? The numbers and outlook are good. Let's look at this Real Madrid. Hope everything's okay over there in Germany. Wish I was over there now. Look at this. All right, so Stratasys manufactures. This is the 3D printer company. I don't think this is a good area, and part of this is anecdotal and not based on the chart. But HP tried to get into this business in a big way, and it didn't really work very well out for them. They ended up being kind of a wash. Um, yeah, this is below the 200-day line. I just think you got to avoid this one. I mean, even if the numbers are up and the outlook, I mean, I don't know. I think that I think this is a tough row. This is a tough row right here. I don't think this one looks too good. So if I were down more than about 7% on this one, I'd probably consider, um, I'd probably consider selling it, just because of that might. Okay, Clover Health. This is interesting. This is a question from TikTok. This is sort of a meme stock, and it is sort of not doing well. This one has been shorted. This was the climax top, and it's down some more. Could you buy this one? I just don't think this one is very good. I wouldn't recommend it. It's below $10, so I don't think this one I don't think this is where you want to be. I don't think this one is where you ought to be. So, CLOV, I think you want to try to find a stronger company than that. I don't think it's going to do all that great. All right, let's look at OSAT. This is also a question from TikTok. OSAT. Orbital sat. Oh yeah, okay. Communication satellite. This is an IPO. Interesting. Huh. Okay. Okay, this is interesting. Um, Securities. I don't know if this one. This was kind of interesting. It just doesn't look though. Yeah, I don't think this one is. I don't think this is that great, to be honest. No. Nope. I would not buy this one either. Boy, I'm just going through them. Said no, no, no. Apple after the dividends. Let's look at Apple. I really still like Apple, of course, and I don't think I'm alone in that. But Apple has a trouble because they've got so much cash and they have to invest it. And how do you do that when how do you follow up the iPhone? It's tough. It's really really tough. I did sell my positions, as you can see. I sold them at 148 and 148.60. We're still below that. I probably will not buy Apple again until it moves above the buy zone. So I'm going to kind of zoom in a little bit. Oops, wrong one there. There we go. Make sure that I'm on the right window. And hopefully we'll be. There we go. Just kind of zooming in a little bit on Apple, so we can see so everyone can see this, because I tell you, it's tough to see it when it's on the screen. It's tougher to see. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so let's pull it up. As you can see with Apple, it had this really nice cut base. And then it went into the consolidation. It came up to the buy point here. I bought it as it came through the buy point, and then it pulled back. So right now on this, I think we've got to wait once again. Let's just see if there's anything we can look at. The checklist looks decent. I mean, it really does. The checklist looks good. The only thing it's lacking on is the it's the relative strength, and I do think that because it's so big, this relative strength is important, but it's not the end all be all. Could you buy it here? You could buy it here, but I do think that it'd be best if you bought it at the buy point or better. And currently, that buy point is at 145.09. So that's where the buy point is. So I really don't. Right now, I'm not looking to buy Apple. It's I was sold out of it myself, and I haven't really gone back into it. If it sets up again, I may buy it, but right now I'm out. All right, so let's look at Fastly, and Fastly, I'm down 30%. Oh, that's so heartbreaking. Here, and I keep scolding everyone. I know people don't want to be scolded on this, but you always need to put in that stop loss, because Um, you shouldn't be down more than 8% on anything. You really shouldn't, because it's so hard to gain that back. I mean, the name of the game here, I think, is to protect your capital. So let's look at Fastly, FSLY, and the way I do it is with stop losses. I just go in and I put in a stop loss. I mean, that's what I do. I mean, every time. I mean, I don't even, it's second nature, on that. So basically, what we have here is, with Fastly, and it was doing very, very well, but we're in this downward trend, and we're below the 50-day average. Here's the thing: people, don't just hold on to it and hold on to it and hold on to it in hopes that it's going to turn around. It might turn around, absolutely, but it's better to just sell it right now, take your lumps, and then put it into something that's moving higher. That's really, really important. Is that you constantly look for the things that are moving higher. So my advice on this is basically to sell. If you're down more than 7%, consider selling. In order for you to get back your 30%, the stock is going to have to go up like 45%. Okay, because when you start losing, it's harder to get it back, because it's going to have to go up, quite a lot. It's going to have to go way back up here, about 45%. So it's just easier to cut your losses and go with another stock. You should never to take a loss more than 7%. It's tough to do, but not tough to do if you put in stop losses. So that's what I really would recommend on that. And sometimes you get in a stock and it'll pull back. Like I was in AMD and I kept pushing my stop loss up. I got into AMD right about 95 or so. It just went crazy. Went up, like to 120, but I was pushing up my stop loss, and then when it pulled back, I was sold out at 116. Now it's down, about 112, and it may go lower. So stocks are like this a lot. So the most important thing when you get into a stock, put that stop loss in, 6 or 7% below where you bought that. If it pulls back, you're going to be safe, because it's going to be very hard for you to get back your 30%, because that takes about 45% gain. So it's very difficult, very difficult. So always try to keep your capital intact. That's really, really important. What do you think about Erling Klinger? I don't know Erling Klinger. That's interesting. I don't know what that company is. My stop loss for AMD at 114 had triggered due to they can wait for some more time or better to back out. Here's the thing. I think that you should probably. Do you think you can wait for some time, or is it better to back out? Well, I think that's right now, go to cash. That's your best hedge, and then and then when it starts moving back up, then you can get back in. Always try to buy as it's moving up, and then set that stop loss so that when it pulls back, you're not wiped out. By the way, if you learn how to trade with stop losses, it's a great way to squeeze profit out of the market. I've done it all. I've done it for years, and basically, I'll kind of show you. That's what the small portfolio essentially is all about. Is doing it like that. So I'm kind of just pull that, pull that up. There we go. There it is. All right. So basically, this is the small portfolio here, and what it does is that if you scroll over here, let's see if we can get that scroll bar. Does it let me? I don't know if it will. Oh gosh, come on, let me show you over there. So if we were to go over here, you'll see I think I have this thing called stop loss set, and this is where I set the stop losses, and this is the profit or loss at if the stop loss triggers. This is how much I either make or I lose. Now in this case, if the stop loss triggered here, I would make this. I would only lose. I can lose a maximum of 6.49% based on where that stop loss is. So that's really what I'm saying is, even in a down market, you want to have those stop losses in there. And why? Because it's going to also sell you out at the right time. And on this one, so let's go back to the small portfolio here. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So here's my small portfolio. Now yesterday I was up on almost everything, but today I'm down on almost everything. See, I just started these positions. haven't had them very long. I've had this one for 9 days and this one for 42 days. But I also always put in a stop loss in there. And the reason I do it is because that protects me while I'm not watching. So even if I was taken out of this stop loss, I'd still make 7% on this trade. And you'll see I lose no more than 2%, 3%, 3%, 4%. So these are my maximum losses based on my based on my stop losses. So by trading with stop losses, it can be very, very good because you can maintain your profit that way, and you can squeeze profit out of deals. Let's. I know the DKNY is going. Let me see if I can take another question. They had great earnings. Okay, well, Zillow, earnings by themselves don't always guarantee that the stock is going to go. As a matter of fact, many times, even on very, very good earnings, the stock will go down. And the reason that happens is because it's a classic case of, buy on rumor, sell on news. So if the earnings are good, sometimes then there'll be a sell-off because people will say, oh, okay, well, we're through earnings now, and we're done with it. Now, let's take a look at Zillow. Its symbol is Z, and of course they're having it now. Right now, Zillow is in a downward trend. Okay, so would I buy this now? Absolutely not. I would not buy this one. I mean, they had some great earnings, but look, it still went down. Why? Because this is a classic case of buy on rumor, sell on news, and unfortunately, people are selling even though they had good earnings. So this is just something you don't want to do. If you're coming into earnings and you're owning a stock and you're not up at least 10%, you should consider selling it, waiting through the earnings, and then buying back on the other side. This is a case that yes, they did have good earnings. Their sales were up 70%, and their profits were up a whopping almost 400%. But look, they still went down. And why was that? Well, that's because that's a classic case of buy on rumor, sell on news. As you can see, that's the 30-minute chart. And when those came in, it just tanked. So not a good thing. It's tough. It's tough. It's kind of when you think that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. Why would that happen? Well, it does. It just happens that way. UMC. Now this is This is in Taiwan. Great company, very similar to TSMC but smaller. United Microelectronics. It's traded on Taipei Exchange, and it trades through ADRs here. It has moved above a buy point, and the buy point is 11.25. Very interesting. This is a very interesting stock because it doesn't have a lot of funds, but it's a very good company. And so this is one of the few examples where you have 100% checklist in a stock that trades basically at $10. That's an excellent stock to buy. So this is a very, very good stock. It's in the the only thing is it's in a relatively low sector, 127 out of 197, but everything else is looking very, very good in this. So this company does have political risk though, because with the situation with China, because they are based in Taipei. But this is not a bad stock, and it wouldn't be a bad stock to own. It's right in the buy zone right now, and it absolutely is buyable at this moment. So Raj, I think it's all clear to buy UMC. I like UMC. I like the chip sector in general, and because it's sort of the engine of a lot of stuff that's happening in the world today. So UMC is in the buy zone. Very, very good stock, and definitely one that you should look at. The buy point on this one is 11.25, and it's basically, and I'll just give you the top of the buy zone here in a second. If I can get my cursor, there we go. Okay, so I've got it now. All right, so yeah, it's basically 11.25 up to about 11.80. So you have about 50 cents you can play with there. There's a lot of shares of this stock, and it's a relatively low value stock, but it's a very good company. 100% checklist in the buy zone right now. So a good stock to look at. USIO. Right. take a look quickly at this one. SIO, and it provides payment processing. This is interesting. I was trying to be, the number one in this field, of course, is PayPal. I was in a PayPal, and I got shaken out. This chart is not what I like to see. It has a downward trend. I just don't like to buy them as a downward trend. Yeah, this is a watch list stock. I wouldn't buy this one. Yeah, okay. It's got a 50% checklist. I think you got to be careful with this one. I wouldn't buy this one. I just wouldn't buy this one. It is a $5 stock. It's under $10. This is really a penny stock. You got to be careful with those penny stocks because they're very volatile. So, please welcome Anderson the second to this Discord group. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very, very much, Samuel. Thank you. And thanks, Matt, for joining the Discord group. If you're in the Discord group, I appreciate it. I think you'll get some great. I think it's great to have a really top trader in there because we can all help each other find the right symbols and make money, and that's the whole idea. Yeah. All right, proper break. What is the proper breakout to in out? Let's look at out. 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 Proper break. Oh, okay. Very good. Thanks for that, Siddhar. Thank you. On the weekly chart, it looks like it's right at the top of the buy zone. Let's click to the daily chart to see. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're right at the buy point for 24.98. We're at 24.96. We're right at the buy point. So absolutely, this is totally buyable. And we have an excellent checklist, 89. That's really, really good. Yeah, this is totally Outfront Media. And I'm not familiar with this one, but boy. Oh, okay, yes, I know what this is. I know this is a sign company. And this is actually, the REITs are doing really well. I mean, IIPR, of course, that's Innovative Industrial Properties. That's the marijuana REIT. And this one I also like too because this is billboards, and billboards are a very profitable business. So really like this one. This is really good. I'm going to put this down in my list because we do have this movement towards we do have this movement towards some of these REITs, and I kind of want to look at a few things here. Look at that. Look at the nice sales are up 46%. Profits are up a whopping 280%. Obviously, that's the reason. Yeah, look at that. We have this little Easter egg. And what this Easter egg is you can see this is a volume spike here, and it's happened. And when they have the Easter egg, that means that is the largest volume spike since the last earnings. So since way back here. So this is looking very, very good. Yeah, thank you very much, Outfront Media. I definitely like this one. And look at this. We've got several bases. We've got base 1, base 2, base 3. So this is a base on base action. This is a very good chart pattern, by the way. Look at that. We're this is what you want to see with the 200-day line. It's just straight up, just straight up. It's going from Los Angeles to about Washington D.C. if you're flying. So it's going right up. So it's looking good. It was, it pulled back right before earnings. This is ideal action. We had a volume spike. It moves up into the buy zone. It's just a little bit below the buy zone. Yeah, this is a good stock. This is a good stock. Now it's probably going to settle a little bit on Monday or Tuesday. Probably going to go down and make 24, maybe 23. But this is showing a lot of strength. It's an upward trend, and very nice, Siddhar. Thank you for bringing this up. That's really good. That's a really good stock. That's a very nice chart. That's a very, very, very nice chart. So thank you, Siddhar. Appreciate it very much for bringing that forward. Okay, Raj, let's take a look at FND. FND. All right. And that's Floor & Decor. And, Floor & Decor has been doing great. And it's still a great stock. It's just moved up above this buy zone a little bit. There was an all-time high for Floor & Decor of about 116 right here. It's at 119. That was the former all-time high. We came through this buy zone on a cup with handle formation, very good formation, up through the buy zone and up, and then we pulled back a little bit. So I definitely think it's going to bounce. It's probably going to bounce at the 21-day line. So here's what I would say with that. I don't think it's time to sell it. I think it's time to wait to see if we get a reversal, if it bounces off this little 21-day line, and currently that 21-day line is sitting right at about 116. So let's see if it pulls back to about 116, or maybe not even quite that. Tests and then moves higher. It looks like this is a test of the 10-day line, so this is still looking very healthy. Now, if you have a full position, I don't think you have to do anything. I don't think you're, depending on where you bought it, I don't think you're down. I don't think you're even down 7%. I think this is one's a hold if you've got it. There, if you were to initiate it, it would be a little bit tricky to initiate a new position here. But I do think, even though it's a tad extended, I think you could initiate a new position. It definitely is a good point. It's definitely a good time to add, though. If you do have a position, you could add at this level. I think this is a good stock, and it's got a very nice chart. Even though it did test the 21-day line, it's got a 100% checklist. That is excellent. So I like Floor & Decor a lot. I like the chart, and I do think, though, that if you're trying to initiate a new position, it might be a little tricky here because we are a little bit extended. But if you have a position currently, you could definitely add at this point. So very, very nice. Thank you for that. And I think this is going to be our last question because we're just right about an hour here. Message delete. Oh, message deleted. Did I delete the message? I don't think I did. Did I? I hope not. I hope not. I hope I didn't do that. I'm going to try not to. What do you think about gold next week? I think it's going to be probably a little bit weak. That's my take on gold. So let's do one last one. AYX. And I heard this morning in the Discord room that Kathy Woods had sold some of her Teslas. So I kind of took a precautionary measure there, and I sold some of mine just because I thought, well, I could get burned on that. I don't want to. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, this is not looking good. Yeah, this just self-service data analytics. It sounds like a great idea. But yeah, unfortunately, this chart is not good. You don't want to. This is not a good chart. You don't want to buy a chart like this. So I'm sorry about that. Well, we have come to the end of the hour. Thank you very much, everybody. I hope everyone's going to have a good weekend. Thank you very much for that sentiment. Thank for Kate. Thank you very much. I hope you have a great weekend too. On Monday, I'm gonna hopefully have some stuff for you. On the action trader list. We'll see. I'm going to try to run some of the screens tonight and see, if I can get a nice ready list. I think what I'll probably be doing for everybody on the action trader list, I probably send out the watch list to everybody. But you got to be on the action trader alerts in order to do it. We have to be on the action trader alerts. So I'm going to try to send out a watch list. Now, the watch list is a little bit different than the watch list is a little bit different than the ready list. By the way, these are available for the people that are in the Discord room. I'm going to put up a new watch list and a new ready list. The watch list is sort of the overall, stocks that you should definitely be looking at. The ready lists are ones that are kind of ready to buy. The watch list, you're kind of seeing if they're getting in position. They're maybe 1 or 2 or 3 weeks out. The ready list, you could go on. If they come into the buy zone, you could buy them right now. So that's the two differences. There's the watch list and there's the ready list. So that's kind of how that goes. Well, till Monday at 2:30 or so, I will see you, and I hope you have a very, very nice weekend. Happy trading, and I hope everyone is doing well and enjoying the summer.